Hey kids, welcome to your Makers ACT English classroom. My name is Jin Bae and I'll be your ACT English teacher here at Makers. First of all, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much, right? I'm so appreciative that you guys taken the time out of your busy schedules to join us for today's seminar. Guys, in this video, I want to explain why this is the only test prep course that you'll need to achieve all of your ACT English goals. Guys, in working with the Makers team and designing this course, I kept one central goal in mind, and that is to do whatever it took, right, to give you the knowledge and the tools to help you go from where you currently are now to helping you get fewer than 5 wrong, right, consistently on the ACT English section. Now, guys, you know that the ACT English test has 75 questions, so being able to get fewer than 5 wrong consistently on every single test is massive, massive success, right? Now, look, you guys, let's face it, you're all here for one reason, right? You're not currently where you want to be, right? If you were already certain that you'd be getting in the 99th percentile for this test, you wouldn't be watching me and this silly video, right? You'd be doing something much more important with your time, like watching cat videos on YouTube. Right? And this gap, you guys, right, from where you currently are to where you want to get to. I call this your hero's journey gap. Well, this gap is making you feel anxious and uncertain. And it's making you guys ask yourselves questions like, is the ACT even the right test for me? Or what if I've never studied grammar before, right? Or what if I'm not as good as the other kids are? Or maybe it's, what if my scores don't improve? Right? And all of these sort of uncertain questions, with all of these uncertain questions, you begin to doubt yourself, right? You begin to wonder and question, right? Do I have what it takes to succeed on this test? Now look, you guys, I've been there, the same problems that students had 25 years ago when I was your age, are the same problems that students today currently face. Those problems are, time and resources, right? Look, I know what it's like to have to juggle 5 different APs in one season, not to mention, be on the basketball team, the volleyball team, and other sort of athletic commitments. On top of that, right, I have to kind of juggle my volunteer work and all of my clubs and organizations, right? The debate team, Save the Earth Club, right? And even have to study for and make time for test prep, like the SAT, the ACT, or even the SAT-2s, right? We simply don't want to waste our time, right? Time is our most valuable commodity, right? But at the same time, we want to achieve massive success, in all of these areas, right? In terms of resources, if you guys have studied ACT before, you've probably used the ACT official guide, right? The red book, they call it, yeah? It's over like 1,000 pages long, maybe working through that book, you're kind of wondering, well, hey, where are all of the question types? Where are the grammar concepts? Where are the grammar rules, right, that I need to know for this test? And they're not in there. Or if you've never studied ACT before, you might be wondering, right, what do I have to know for this test? Do I need to take a practice test every single day to succeed? What do I need to do? Or how can I learn this material in a way that makes sense and makes me feel like I'm actually learning? Right? Again, now all of these questions and uncertainties, right, can make you feel really overwhelmed, can make you feel anxious, and maybe even a little bit afraid, right? Now, guys, this is where I actually enter your journey. Now, look, I don't want you to think of me as your hero. I'm not your hero, right? You're the hero. This is your story. This is your journey. I want you to only think of me as a guide, right? Your ACT English guide. Now, look, you guys, I have taught in Seoul for the last 11 years, very, very joyfully. With a lot of passion. I've worked with over 6,000 students of all different types, right? From the English is my second language, I just started learning it maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, and I have no confidence either speaking or reading or writing it. All the way to the straight A student who's lived abroad for the last 10 plus years, who's taken 10 APs, and who feels like this test is really easy for him. Like I have worked with that broad range of students, you guys. And what I can tell you though is with absolute transparency, is that over 90%, right, of the students I work with for the ACT English section will see at least a 4-point jump, to their score after working with me for a season or two. Plus, over 80% of the Shijun students I've taught ACT English to score at least in the 97th percentile. Now, if you think about, well, how does that translate to your ACT score? Well, the ACT score is out of 36. Scoring in the 97th percentile is a big deal. You're getting at least a 33, most likely a 34. But I have plenty of students who've gotten a 35 and a 36, though, on the ACT English test. Now, you might be wondering, well, how is this possible, right? Well, again, the Makers team and I, we worked together, we collaborated, in designing this sort of perfect course for you, right? And again, it's not perfect, we're always trying to make it better. We're always trying to make it better. But what we wanted to do, though, is create this all-in-one solution for you, right? To really give you all of the tools, the practice, the knowledge that you guys need to succeed on this test, right? Now, what we've done here is we've combined 3 really critical, I should say 3 or 4 or 5, right? Critical resources, right? That you guys will be experiencing. Now, the first is our CBT technology, right? CBT is the computer-based testing technology. So we're the only hagwon in Korea, right, to offer a computer-based technology system that actually looks and feels like the actual ACT computer-based test. Now, this is going to be a huge advantage to you students who are taking the test internationally, right? Whether you're in Korea, China, Malaysia, wherever it is, right? Just not in the United States, right? Because you're required to take the computer-based test. So being able to get repetitions or practice daily if you're in the Shijun class, or once a week if you're in the concept class, will be really critical, right? Because you'll be getting that sort of you'll be getting the confidence, and you'll feel really comfortable when you sit down to take the actual test, because you've experienced it, right, dozens of times before. Now, secondly, only the students at Makers, right, will have exclusive access to an ACT English textbook that was authored by myself, right? Yours truly. So I believe I am the only sort of ACT English teacher in Korea, right, to have written a textbook. And this textbook covers I would say over 95%, right, of all of the grammar concepts, the rules, and 100% of all of the concepts and the question type, all of the question types that you'll need that you'll be tested on the ACT exam. Right? And not to mention the third resource, which I think is really, really helpful, is what I call your deliberate practice question workbook. Okay, so deliberate practice is, instead of just taking a practice test every single day where your mind is bouncing around from one question type to another question type to another question type, deliberate practice basically isolates one question type, right? And you're tested multiple questions, right, on that one question type. It's extremely helpful, right, regardless of what level you're at. So if you're in the Shijun class, you'll be using this as like a secondary resource. If you know what your weak areas are, right, I'll be able to tell you or help you guys out with that as well. You guys will be getting sort of personalized, right, like homework assignments that'll help you, right, with your personal weak spots, right, for the ACT English test. If you're in the concept level class, right, you'll be working in the majority of your time in your homework assignments with your textbook and your deliberate practice question workbook, right? Now, on top of that, right, there are other resources that I think really helps make Makers pretty special. And I think one of them is access to your teachers. Yeah, guys, the promise that I can tell you, or I can give to you, is you can use me as much as you want as a resource, right? Use me as much as you want, right, as a resource. Look, I've studied, the ins and outs of this test. I've broken down this test over 20 years worth of exams, over 7,000 ACT practice questions, and I really try to organize it in a way, right, that makes sense. It's easy to follow. It helps you guys gain confidence and clarity, right, for the ACT English test. So you guys can utilize me outside of class time. We can meet individually. We can kind of work there. Plus you also have a fantastic reading and science teacher. Mary and Nina, they're wonderful, and they're also very, very caring, and they want nothing but the best, right, to help you guys, achieve your ACT scores, And guys, one thing that I can guarantee you is that I can't guarantee that you guys will get a 36 on the ACT exam. I can't guarantee that you guys will get a perfect score on the ACT English section, right? But one thing that I can guarantee you guys is, look, if you just trust us to guide you, if you really learn with an open mind, and if you show up and do the work with sincere, massive effort, what I can guarantee you guys is you guys will remove the frustrations that you guys feel for this test, and you guys will be able to gain clarity and certainty, right, for the ACT English section. Just doing a little bit of sort of a review, right, of what this course kind of offers, right? So some of the objectives that you guys will achieve after we work together would be, one, you guys will have that foundational knowledge, right? You guys will be able to learn over 95% of all of the grammar concepts, of all of the grammar rules, of which there are so many in the English language, right? And here, you guys will be able to learn over 95% of all of that, that have shown up on over 20 years worth of ACT real exams. Right? On top of that, you guys will learn the sort of best practices. You guys will learn the tips, the strategies, and the tools that'll help you guys to answer questions more easily. Plus, in your workbook, not to mention when I go over the questions that you guys got wrong in class, I will give you guys my step-by-step process for all of the question types, right? I'm not just going to explain why an answer is right or wrong, I actually have a way that I break down, right, each of the question types step by step, so you'll be able to learn that as well. Plus, you'll be able to take simulated exams, right? You'll be able to practice like the real thing. Now, of course, taking simulated exams is going to vary. It's going to differ based on the level of class that you're in. Right? So if you're in the Shizhen class, you'll be doing this every single day, and you'll be using the textbook that I wrote and the workbook that I wrote as secondary resources, right? To help you to learn concepts that you're not very strong at, and help you to isolate your weaknesses so you guys can kind of improve or practice, and get better at those too. If you're in the concept level class, you guys will be taking a simulated exam once a week, right? Every Saturday. And throughout the week, we'll be working together. You'll be learning that foundational knowledge step by step. I love to focus on things one thing at a time. I love to make sure that all of the students really understand something deeply, right? Not just understand it intellectually, but understand it experientially, right? There is a big difference between that. And you guys will be taking that simulated actual test, right, every Saturday. For the concept level kids, don't worry so much about your score for the practice test, right? The once a week test. It doesn't really matter. What you guys should be focused on is really learning, right? Getting that knowledge, feeling like you're learning, feeling like this stuff is getting easier for you. Right? So this would be my promise to you guys, right? For every single one of you, right, who joins us, in our class, I can guarantee you guys will gain clarity, you guys will gain confidence, you guys will feel like you're actually learning, you guys will remove all of those frustrations and uncertainties and doubts and fears that you have about this test, right? So that you guys can kind of achieve success, okay? So guys, don't wait, now is the perfect time for you guys to begin your ACT journey, on your own time, at your own pace. And I always tell you guys, I always tell my students, you all got this, okay? Now, guys, the best thing that you could possibly do right now is to take one simple step forward. Now, how you can do that is by giving us a call at Makers, right? It's the phone number, there. Now, even if you're not sure whether you're going to take the class here at Makers, that's okay. I totally understand. You guys are smart parents. You guys are smart kids making smart decisions for yourselves, right? I get that. But one thing that I want you guys to make sure to do is just give us a call. You don't have to commit or decide right then, but make sure that you schedule a practice test for both the SAT and the ACT. And then make sure that you set up a consultation with our 원장님, right? Mr. Jung. He'll be able to tell you, he'll be able to help guide you, whether you're the mom or dad listening right now, or whether you're the student, he'll be able to guide you and your family on which test is best for the student, right? Plus, he'll be able to help set up a plan, a timeline, right, over the next year or so, to help really give you that consultation, that sort of midterm, long-term plan to help your child achieve academic success, okay? Look, you guys, I just want to again say thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate every single one of you. Hope to see you guys soon. You guys take care.